Cryoc looked really good versus Gornich. Cryoc looked really good versus Gosudark. And one thing to say about Gosudark, as you were saying, he snap called the robo. Gosudark is like that. Once he makes a decision, he goes for it. He is very decisive in all of his decisions. But now we've got a rematch. Cryoc took game one earlier, but Gosudark looked pretty good. Remember, he got up to 4 Arbiters at one point, and really the saving grace was for Cryoc was that triple Arbiter EMP. So let's get into our game, or our last chance match. It is going to be Cryoc versus Gosudark. Here we go. So in the bottom left, in the brown, we have our German Terran Cryoc, and in the bottom right, in the blue, coming off a very nice win versus Ziggy, it is Gosudark. Now I'm going to be a little bit heartbroken if both Ziggy and Cryoc get eliminated, because that would be about 25% of the Terrans just gone straight from the get-go. So you think Cryoc's got a good chance here versus Gosudark? Gosudark looked good on Eclipse. Even though he built a lot of units and delayed like the 3rd and 4th base, he still got up to an overwhelming amount of Arbiters.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I think this is a toss-up still. Like, Cryoc played pretty well. I really want to see... I want to see him use this map to the full extent, you know? Like, really abuse the fact that you get so many more resources injected into your build, but not to play like a really heavy kind of like timing attack, but just to get everything rolling and getting into like a really solid mid-late game. Now, the thing with these positions specifically, like we didn't see, so this map's so interesting, man, because all the positions play so differently. On these spawns, you have to think about, okay, if Terran wants to take a 3rd base, which one's it going to be? Usually you would expect them to take this bottom left, you know, the base kind of hugging, yeah, the main, exactly, right there. You would expect them to take that. But on this map, because Protoss is right next to them, it's not so clear that you would take that base, and maybe he's going to take the base that's mid-left, which would be really interesting because it would kind of like put him in much more of a passive position, kind of to like maybe split the map or something. Like, I don't know, it's going to be really interesting if this game actually manages to get into late game, but I think most of the time you see players play really heavy on 2 bases on this map. But the thing is, now you can, like, honestly, once you use these resources, the 1000 gas at your main and the 1000 gas at your natural, that's all you're getting. You know, I mean, yeah, it's nice for an extended 2 base, but it's not like it has much more resources than that. It's not like your main has an extra full mineral patch or your natural has a full mineral patch. You're down to 2 normal bases like on any map. You know what I'm saying? So like, we'll have to see if they actually go up to more than 2 bases, or at least if Cryoc does.
Yeah, I think that mid-left is the base to take. It's, you know, in order for Gosudark to come from some type of attack from the top, he would have to mine out those minerals, which I don't think he's going to do. But tell me your thoughts on something like a drop, because what I've been noticing with Gosudark is he's hyper aggro in the early stages with his goons, like rallying the first 4, 5, 6 across the map. And that kind of leaves your main exposed, and with spawns like this, you know, there's just a direct route there. So what do you think about drops as a follow-up after Command Center from Cryoc? It feels like something that could deal damage to an aggro player who's already cutting a lot of probes without making, you know, like a big commitment with something like 2-Fat. You know, you're just committing dropship and a couple vultures.
Yeah, but the thing is, we saw both Cryoc and Ziggy go for this really weird bunker into siege mode expand, which honestly I personally have never used, and it just seems like, yeah, once you go for that siege mode, it kind of pigeonholes you into playing super passive early, and you don't really get any presence onto the map. And the thing is, it's telegraphing me that they're not confident in playing early game against Gosudark, like just being assertive in the early game, when really that's what you need against aggro players. He gets that.
You knew he was going to get that SCV. There's no way that goon was turned around. That was 100% a kill for Gosudark.
Yeah, but you know what the problem is with that though, like real quick, is that he took damage on the Dragoon and now suddenly he can't check to see if there's an expo. But I guess
Gosudark doesn't care about that. He don't care. He just assumes there's an expansion probably. I think versus someone like Cryoc, I think that's a good assumption, because we saw last game is Cryoc was content with just playing super passive SCB comes in here, and I am always one of those people that says 420, if there's no Nexus, something is up, and we don't see a Nexus, and because he's even gonna get a full scout on, and he sees double gate, but he did not see the robo, and this could actually be devastating for Cryoc because double gate generally means that this is DT. So if he overreacts and goes like Academy, eBay, there's the eBay, like triple turret, and Gosudark does something like double expand off of 3 goons and just stops building anything right now, Cryoc's going to be in a bit of trouble. We do see 2-gate observer, which means that actually Gosudark thought Cryoc was going to be aggro, and we see that's not the case.
Yeah, it looks like he didn't assume that was a command center. This is so weird, man. Double gate obs, really? That means one thing, man. And he thought it was 2-fact. Because this puts you so far behind, and like you said, sure, he can actually, Protoss can double expand, and usually that's actually the correct the correct decision to make off of stuff like 2-gate off 1 base, because there's no way Terran will ever have enough units to punish you. But the problem with double expanding, well, the problem is when you take your expansion so late as Protoss, you actually have a severely reduced probe count. So even if you double expand, Terran will actually end up ahead on workers for a good portion of the time, and if they ever take a 3rd base, on their 3rd base, they're still going to be even or ahead on workers, but the thing is they had workers, like a lot more workers mining for a longer time. So even if Protoss actually double expands here, it doesn't mean that they get back ahead economically. It's just kind of a way to even out the fact that they're really far behind. And with the Robo on top of that, further delaying the Nexus, his economy is definitely behind Cryoc's, but it's going to be up to Cryoc to convert that economical lead into something. And I'm wondering here again, I like this cheeky play from Cryoc. Actually, I really like this. He's going to try and boost that Vulture over the mineral patches so he can go and harass some of the probes at Gosudark's base, but unfortunately he doesn't get it. And the thing is, he can't lose these Vultures for free, man.
Well, he's going to. He was trying to glitch the Vulture through, which is one of the things you can do on Optimizer, and you can also do it with the probe to glitch through and take that 3rd base easily. And actually the drop idea that I was thinking about going for, it would have gotten shut down instantly because Gosudark did the 4 goons in his base. So both players, I guess, were expecting aggression that never came. But now Cryoc lost a lot of Vultures. He only has 2 tanks. We see that the triple factory is coming in simply in response to having to rebuild up his unit count very quickly. Now, back in Gosudark's base, I didn't see any tech come in despite there being a big fat building on the corner of his base. And I think that might just be a Stargate.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of an expected follow-up for sure, getting into that Stargate. Especially if he's not taking a 3rd base. It doesn't look like he's taking a 3rd base. So it looks like he's going to go...
It's just 4-gate.
Okay, interesting. Well, I mean, dude, the thing is, when you go this 2-gate... And, my god, Cryoc is still trying to glitch that SCV over. When you try and... The thing is, when you go for this 2-gate obs, man, look at how slow... And this is exactly what he's going to follow it up with the Bulldog. I like this. It makes sense. But the thing is, Cryoc's already so defensive. Look, he has turrets up. He has mines, like, in his base. He has a full wall. And he's up to 4 factories. So this is going to play right into Gosudark's build here. Gosudark's going to be fine. The thing is, he needs to have a couple Vultures come out. Remember, guys, he did lose those first 4 Vultures, which is massive for Terran. Terran doesn't really have that much production early game. So just bleeding units like that is not good. He does have 5 tanks, but
this is gonna get ugly, Mihai, because there's 2 mines right there. Luckily, he picks off one of them, but there's still one right there. Sell it, Mom.
It's out of range.
It's just barely out of range, and Gosudark almost... Well, I still think he's gonna bust through. There's still 8 goons. That mine now kind of did a lot of damage to the Protoss army. 3 tanks left over, though, and it's just 1 tank. Is that it? I think Gosudark may actually bust through, but there's only 5 goons left over. This may have actually been an overextension.
Oh, it's so hard to tell. That 1 tank in the corner is doing work. The SCV repairing it, but it's still not enough to offset the 1 Dragoon DPS. But Prague does have 2 more tanks coming up. And where are we? Is this StarCraft or is this the circus, Nyokin? Because this is definitely not a situation you see every day. But Gosudark actually reinforcing here with a bunch of dragoons following up, and there's only 2 tanks to defend this. And the thing is, I think Cryoc is gonna... He has enough tanks to defend and not die, but I wonder if there's another shuttle queued up with 4 more zealots, or if it's just pure goon man from here.
Oh,
Looks,
no.
He can't push in here because there's way too many tanks. The one turret coming up just in time to defend against any odds to like spot for these mines, so he's gonna have mine tank to defend. But Gosudark is being way too aggressive. I think he's actually maybe overextending here. He does get the tank off, so still gets some pretty decent trades. Not the end of the world, but gonna bleed some more dragoons, and you really don't want to see that.
Yeah, you could see that Gosudark was trying to save those 3 goons that were stuck behind the command center, but instead trades out a lot of goons there. We see that Stargates are coming down for Gosudark as the follow-up, but that was a lot of lost goons. And instantly scans the carrier too, so he knows what?
Whoa.
wait. Fleet Beacon and Arbiter. So now, I actually don't even know if this was like a response to like being scanned. It's like, oh, well, I should build the Arbiter Tribunal, so Terran has no idea what I'm actually going for. But when you see that, you know that Protoss has just spent a ton of resources on tech. So Cryoc doesn't actually need to build units now. He just needs to focus on get his econ up and running, get his upgrades. Wait, did he cancel the Fleet Beacon? I think he did, because I don't see it there anymore.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the Fleet Beacon just doesn't even make that much sense. He already teched up to Templar Archives, and I doubt he even started +1 at his core. I'm not sure, but the thing is, you definitely don't have time to make carriers, and you wouldn't even want to make carriers. The Terran has so much gas to work with on this map. You know, there's a map like hold that thought, because the shuttle's coming in for round 2 of the Zealot Carpet Bomb. This is actually a really well executed bomb from Gosudark, goes in to the front with the dragoons, and I think this might be enough to break the Terran position. You know, there's just not enough Terran units, more tanks coming out of the factories, laying down some mines, so I don't think Gosudark will be able to end the game just here. But the thing is, what does Gosudark have coming behind this? He does have Arbiters. He's not going to be able to break this natural, but he doesn't have a 3rd base, and the longer Cryoc holds on to this game for, I mean, he's going to get his 3rd base. The only thing is, Cryoc is bleeding so many tanks, man.
Yeah, Gosudark is doing such a good job to pick off all of the tanks from Cryoc, and with no tanks here, it's so hard to actually just save this base. He's got to slowly creep this one tank. I did notice that he has double add-ons, but more and more vultures keep coming out. He needs to get tanks here, and actually, these goons could all just escape for free. But instead, he somehow knows that top left exists, so he positions his goons back there.
Does he though?
I don't know. I don't think he does.
I think he's just... This is so risky, though, because the thing is... Okay, now the dragoons get pushed off this ramp, and where do they go? It's not like the minerals on the other side of the map have been mined out, and they're just trapped. So, you know, finally they go down. And the thing is, again, Protoss, double Arbiter behind this, but I mean, double Arbiter when you don't have an army is not that scary, and he still doesn't have a 3rd base coming, so... The thing is, if these Arbiters actually bank up significant amount of energy, it's so hard because he doesn't have an army with those Arbiters, man. Like, Arbiters are a scary unit, but when you have, like, what, 10 supply units beneath them, like, does it really matter if they stasis your army? Like, I don't know.
Well, despite all the shenanigans that Gosudark has put on to Cryoc, supplies are even. And back in Gosudark's main, there's only 5 gateways. So his econ, and he's consistently kept his resources very low. So he's very lacking in the probe count. That means that he's really not mining his bases as well as he could. So despite everything that has happened, Cryoc is still in a good position, in an okay position. The main thing for him now is because he can't like instantly counterattack, 2 Arbiters are going to turn into 4, turn into 6. And then we're just going to see ice all over the place during any big engagement. But so far, Cryoc has survived. His 3rd base is considerably farther ahead than Gosudark's. Gosudark's isn't even done yet.
Yeah, and the thing is, Protoss, you really want to have a good economy to face like the Terran attack, right? I don't know how Terran is doing on upgrades. It looks like he has double armory. He does have a vessel out in time. It looks like a fleet beacon also. Is that a fleet beacon? I just saw like... Oh.
I don't know anymore, man.
No,
I already saw Fleet Beacon Arbiter, and then
sorry.
and then the Fleet Beacon gets canceled. I don't even know what's happening anymore. And Cryoc's almost even in supply, so I really have no idea. But Cryoc actually has +2 weapon on his tanks. So he's going into potentially split map play. And as we were pointing out on Eclipse, Eclipse was a map where you can't, take another main and build like Infinity Gateways. Now, Optimizer is one of those maps, but Gosudark still hasn't taken advantage of that, even supply right now. So Cryoc is still in it despite taking all of this damage.
Yeah, this map, man, I mean, think about split map for a second. It doesn't seem that good for Terran, right? Because how do you get to that natural from your natural, right? Like, imagine just like moving units through this side on the left side here. I think you really need to have mid map control as Terran to actually defend top left. So it doesn't seem practical to me to actually expand the top left. This mid left base is really nice, but I think at this point Terran would actually rather start expanding at the bottom side of the map. I think it makes the most sense. But in any case, we'll even see if it gets to that point, because Cryoc is going to have a really nice timing here against Gosudark. That's just how late Gosudark's third base is. He's not going to have any sort of bank to work with. Nice bolster. Oh, this tank drop I really like from Cryoc, actually.
Yeah, this is a really slick move. It's out of range of the cannon, going to shut it down. It's going to be, it's going to take Gosudark a while to send goons over here and deal with it. Now, we see that Cryoc doesn't have any vultures like out on the map to go for a potential attack in the natural, but that would have been a really slick move since all of the goons are moving into position to try and kill this one tank. Now Cryoc, I'm trying to get a gauge on his factory count. I think it's still at 5, so he still doesn't have that much production, but he is still even in supply. Goons are going to eat a mine right there, but drop gets taken out. Just a few probes go down, so overall, successful drop for Cryoc.
Yeah, it was good. He definitely delayed mining at the base. I would have liked to see him use that time to get some units out onto the map or some mines out onto the map, but instead, Cryoc preparing himself for recall defense. Now, the thing is, yeah, you definitely need recall defense on this map, but I think if he just expanded to... Oh my god, that's so many Arbiters.
That's 5 Arbiters. That's the nightmare.
Yeah,
but because he hasn't sent any Arbiters like across the map, that means he doesn't intend to recall.
Yeah.
And that's going to be bad news for Cryoc, because unless you have like 30 tanks, like actually 30 tanks, you're just going to have no tanks in any single fight. If you say on average you get 3 tanks per stasis, that means at least 15 to 20 tanks are gone, because that's going to be like 6, 7 stasis coming in for Gosudark.
Yeah, and the thing is, Gosudark's only, like, I can't imagine his probe count is that high, so his army supply must be a decent amount, but remember, the thing is, as broken as Arbiters are, once you get to this number of Arbiters, sometimes you just get EMP'd, and there goes like 12 supply, 15 supply of just completely... How much supplies is Arbiter? Like 4 or 3?
It's 4.
It's 4. So the thing is, that's basically 16 supply right there, plus 2 more probably. It's basically 24 supply almost. Going to be 24 supply in just Arbiters. So if somehow Cryoc manages to EMP, basically if EMPs a clump of Arbiters, that could realistically be 16 supply, 20 supply down the drain. And suddenly it's looking really bad for Protoss, because obviously when Protoss gets this many Arbiters, it's scary, but that's that much less kind of army supply. And looks like actually Gosudark might go for a recall, but this, I don't know if this recall is going to be good. There's so many mines already. The Arbiter's flying in just now at mid left, going for that insane recall, and actually gets the perfect recall. Those mines don't kill anything. Really fortunate there for Gosudark, and he's going to be able to shut down this mining. That's his Cryoc.
This is double recall. This is going to be a recall into the main. That one has recall available. I think the other one has recall available. May even be triple recall. There's one. Where's the second one?
Oh, this is so crazy now. Does he really want to go? The thing is, he's committing his entire army to this. He doesn't really have that much infrastructure behind to kind of re-max behind this. You can see Protoss is completely broke here. So this is all his army, and the thing is, when you recall into the base, these units aren't really going to be that efficient at this point. Look at how much space there's for the Terran to work. Gets on top of these Dragoons now. Somehow, the Dragoons are just not trading at all. So the thing is, Gosudark, it's annoying to deal with these recalls, but they actually did absolutely no damage. The follow-up recall, that is. The thing is, You know, Cryoc isn't mining from this mid-left base, which is huge, because you can see he already mined out his main. His natural is basically almost mined out, and his third isn't mining just yet. Now, kind of faring some SCVs there. So Cryoc kind of desperate for a mining base here, but Protoss is probably in the same boat here. The main is also mined out, but Protoss is still mining from the natural comfortably and from the third. Now, the thing is, Protoss has very, very low army supply. He just sacked 3 Arbiters. That's 3, I mean, that's possibly even 6 stasis at this point. So, Cryoc, he needs to make something happen here.
This is a crazy game because look at the supply. Am I reading this right? It says 145 to 116. So Gosudark did not trade as great as he could. And actually, Cryoc had a great defense, and I'm getting so worried for Gosudark because I keep looking at the minimap expecting to see just like a huge, you know, color of blue all over the right side of the map, and it's just not there. It's actually, once Cryoc gets his mid-left base up and running, both players are going to be back on 2 base. And in that recall that we just saw, Gosudark lost 3 Arbiters. That's a lot of Arbiters to be lost, but he still has 4. But I just don't, this base is not dying. That's 100% not happening. Look how many tanks there are.
Oh my god, he's actually going to try and attack through this bottom side.
I think he is. I think he might actually try and bust this base. He knows it's right there.
He can't do anything about this. And at this point, Cryoc's just going to leapfrog a couple tanks. He really needs to commit his whole army here. Look how close those bases are, man. And that's, you know, that's definitely bad for Protoss. And now, Cryoc can kind of just compact his army on one side of the map and just push. And the thing is, Gosudark, like you said, you were expecting that big blue flood of Protoss, kind of golden armada slash army slash just gold stuff, killing Terran stuff. But it never happened because Gosudark never actually established his economy right. And you can see just now expanding top right because he's about to lose this bottom expansion. But if Cryoc does not EMP these Arbiters, there's a chance for Gosudark to completely smash this.
Look how clumped these tanks are, man. Oh, this is going to be disgusting.
Oh, he got targeted.
Oh, he got the EMP. So he eliminates 2 of the stasis. Oh my gosh, he loses his almost entire army before any of the stasis goes off. And supplies plummeted for Gosudark. He's down 45 supply now. Bottom base is 100% dead. So really, Gosudark. Oh, also he's going to lose all these probes here. No, they're not leaving. Goodbye. So that's like 20 probes gone. And we already know this was probably half of the count, half of the probe count for Gosudark. So probably he's down to like 30 probes. I don't see anything mining at top right. So a big loss right there. And now there's a huge swing. And also because Cryoc has had like triple add-on or whatever he has, out of those 40 units I see in the center of the map, at least 30 of them are tanks.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty much over, man. I can't really see a way out for Protoss. Protoss's economy is just in the dumpster. Finally, Cryoc at a very respectable supply lead with crazy upgrades, and he gets mid-left rolling. He gets that bottom expansion rolling. As you said, he's up to 2 base here, and Protoss, he's behind 40 supply against 3-2 mech. I mean, and look, Cryoc has, you know, he has EMP to work with. These Arbiters aren't necessarily going to get these stasises that they want to. As you can see, one EMP goes off, the other Arbiter kind of chilling. Finally is going to get 1 stasis off, probably, but only gets, I mean, it gets a decent amount of units, but look how many tanks there are.
Yeah, but there's 24 supply in Arbiters. He has 6 of them. 2 of them just fell. 3 of them, he probably has 2 queued up in his main. So it's like 30 supply in Arbiters. GG from Gosudark. Cryoc actually bringing it back. It looked like a guaranteed win for Gosudark once he busted the natural like 1, 2, 3 times with his Bulldogs in the recall. So really...